Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Monday Live Show with Alan and Greg and our guest Gareth from Books, Songs, and Other Magic. Hello, everyone. He's like,
I know, go backwards.
right there.
Hello. Hello.
Hey there.
Al's mic sounds good. I don't seem to have any interference from Al today.
No,
That's good.
We tested it on Sunday to try to clear up those issues. So, hello.
Awesome.
Hello, Zach.
Oh, Zap's here. Awesome.
Hello,
Hey,
Brad. Brad.
Yeah, this is cool. On my laptop, I can see the comments, and I got new goggles and everything. Hey,
Cool.
William.
And Williams Library.
William's always here.
Christopher Evenstar. All right.
Like your guitars, Christopher.
I thought your guitar was Alberta.
Oh, yeah, I mean, Christopher, he has guitars in his background on his photo.
Oh. Okay.
My acoustic is Alberta, and my new Telecaster is Josephine. That Ronnie Wood song, Josephine.
So you name all your guitars?
Yeah.
Gareth, do you name your guitars?
No, I haven't named my guitar. I did when I first started. So my first ever proper guitar. So I had a couple of really bad sort of knackered electric guitars first. And my first acoustic guitar, I named that Hackenbush, which is named after Groucho Marx. And I've never really named one since. So I've had a few guitars since then. I've got several guitars, but they're all acoustic guitars. I haven't got any electrics anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, some people name guitars after like the color, like they'll call it butter or I don't know, cream or what after colors.
Well, I think girls' names are quite popular.
True. Yeah,
What if you're a gal guitarist?
Well, yeah. I don't know what they do.
You name it after a guy?
Well, I don't know. Maybe women are more sensible and don't think they need to name their guitars.
Guitar, Greg. A guitar looks like a woman. It's shaped like a.
It looks like a woman. There we go.
All right.
Al needs to sort his glasses out.
so bad as a comment, Greg, you made my devil horns grow larger. I checked my boxer. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on the book. I just bought a book on her recommendation. What is the book? I can show it on my Kindle. It's called Skin.
Oh.
By what's her name? Audrey Rush. It's really just a short story. It's like 50 pages.
Oh.
But in one of my earlier videos, I made a comment that when I buy books, I never read the book when I buy it.
Right. Yeah.
And I said, okay, this month I'm going to buy a book and then immediately start reading it.
Yeah.
Based on a YouTuber's review. And that's a book that she reviewed and really liked. So I bought it, and I'm going to start it tomorrow morning or tonight, depending on what time we finish.
It's a good point because that's what we do, isn't it? We don't really read the things we buy immediately. We go, oh, I'll have that, and I'll read that at some point, and then that some point gets far away in the distance, and
it could be years later.
Or if you ever buy a book and forget you bought it.
Yeah. I was just about to say actually that the book I'm currently reading, I didn't realize that I'd already got it, and I bought it recently, and I got 2 copies now. And I didn't realize I'd already had it. It was like, and I mean, the other copies and have got an amazing cover, and this is like a different cover. This is a newer version, but I don't really need 2 copies, so it's a bit silly.
Double copies of
Todd.
Yeah, hey Todd.
Medium John Silver taking a peek at your live stream from the middle of Florida.
FLA.
I think that's a repeat.
Go Gators.
The original. Second, Crybaby Films. Reading The Entity, Mary by Nat Cassidy, Cold Mountain, and Act 2 of Macbeth.
Wow, great.
Macbeth is my favorite Shakespeare play.
Macbeth.
Yeah, sure. I like Macbeth.
Yeah, as far as Macbeth and Hamlet for me, yeah, those two.
It's a toss up, but I think Macbeth is a little edgier, it's a little darker.
Yeah,
And,
but
and
I
you
saw an amazing performance at the National Theatre of Hamlet, so that I think that swayed me because I saw it live, and Mark Rylance was Hamlet, and that was a pretty cool.
Yeah,
That was really
I saw live of Hamlet.
Wow.
It had Tom Holtz as Hamlet.
nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Tom Holtz, he played Amadeus.
Yes.
Yeah.
was,
That's an amazing film, that is, isn't it?
That's not great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The theater in Washington got some amazing people to take lead roles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Now, this was back in the 90s, so it's been a while.
Yeah,
And I remember they did Macbeth, but I don't remember who they got to play Macbeth or Lady Macbeth.
Or Macduff.
Well, the thing is, I just like Lady Macbeth because she's just like, come on, kill him, be king.
I can't wash off the blood. Oh.
well, it's like that's a character that's become synonymous with what she does in the play, and it's like when we say in our normal everyday language, we say, "Oh, we've created a Frankenstein," and with Lady Macbeth, it's like, "Oh, you've become Lady Macbeth," or that's like Lady Macbeth. Do you know what I mean? It's like so iconic.
Yes, it is.
It's such an impact as a character. I think that's a really interesting thing that character's had.
Yep. So Gareth, Bad is going, how are you? How's your night going? It's late for Gareth.
Yeah, it's late. It's been a nice night though. So I've done a bit of reading. I stayed up actually, which is weird. I thought I was going to have a little nap. We were talking about it, weren't we? So yeah, it's now 1:00 in the morning. So I'm being very naughty because I got to teach tomorrow and all that. But yeah, it's been a nice day. The daytime today was good. Yeah, all good. I did say earlier I saw your latest video, Greg, the one on formats.
Right.
I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was really, really good. I was going to make a comment, and because I was charging this phone, and I was also my iPad was going a bit weird. I didn't make a comment, but I will make a comment because I think it's awesome. I think you made really good points, and I think it's just really good the fact you celebrate all of the formats.
Yeah,
I thought it was really good.
I didn't celebrate Braille though. Although I remember in high school I had a friend who's teaching himself Braille just because. Why not?
Yeah. But, well, it's like people who learn sign language. It's great if you learn sign language, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to learn sign language. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I might do my version of that video. I don't know, but the trouble is, I don't. Mine would just be talking about how much I love paperbacks.
But that's fine.
Yeah. But I love the fact that you made so many really good points about why all three have got their merits. But one of the points that someone made, I think it was Ollie, he made a point about the fact that each version of a book is different, so they're different things, and I like that. So it's like I think it's a really good argument about why the actual object of a book is special, because it's like, if you keep it, then it was your book, that was the book, and you don't really, and I think that's kind of different from digital files. You know what I mean? Because it's the thing that's like the book.
Yep. So Bad going. What's your spooky TBR, everyone? Going okay? Does everyone have a spooky book to pick in for Halloween?
Just October. Yeah. October. #October.
Well, that is Poe's very spooky.
Spooky.
Yeah. Poe's good. I'm gonna read my first Grady Hendrix book, and I was gonna read Cunning Folk, I think it's called.
I'm reading Cunning Folk.
Yeah, have you read that?
No, I've read a couple of his other books. They're pretty good.
All right.
The Cunning Folk is sort of my tentative book. I'm going to be reading with my group, the Bad and Nettie and maybe Alan. So if you want to join in and reading Cunning Folk,
okay,
just drop me a line. Probably late October, something like that.
Yeah, okay. I was going to read them before doing the occult detective stuff, and then I was going to crack on with the occult detective stuff in October.
Okay, but in the Boxer, if you want to join, just say I want to join, and if we join I mean, they haven't technically decided on Cunning Folk. There's a couple other ones, but I'm kind of pushing for Cunning Folk.
Right.
So Williams, cool. I bought Origin of the Species a few years ago. I ought to read that next.
Yeah, cool. Darwin.
I've never read the whole Origin of the Species.
I imagine it's quite dry.
My thing is, by now we know his theory.
Yeah.
And everyone agrees his theory is mostly correct.
Yeah.
And
Well,
you're actually going backwards in the science. You haven't gotten the latest on evolution, because he wrote that a while ago. So they have made scientific improvements.
well, I mean, one of my good friends, one of my closest friends, is a creationist, and
Really?
that freaked me out. Yeah. He doesn't believe. Well, he doesn't. It's not even a belief, is it? It doesn't agree with evolution. I mean, it's not a belief. So I almost went into that trap. It's science, but yeah, he doesn't agree with it, and that's just weird, isn't it? So it was something that we take for granted that we just think, no, that's a fact. There are people in the world that don't really believe that that's a fact.
No, is he the type of creationist who says none of it is true, or there's some who say, well, God created everything in the beginning, and then evolution took over?
He's a bit like that. I think he picks and chooses. I mean, at one point we had a conversation where he was trying to prove to me that dinosaurs are mentioned in the Bible. They're not.
No.
Or if man and dinosaurs lived together. No, that's the Flintstones.
Right.
Yeah. No, yeah. We lived in a very different time, didn't we?
My father's a man of faith, a Christian, and that, but he still believes in fossils and science in a way. He does. It's a bizarre, to debate about the Bible and that, and how could he made light before the planets and.
It's all you can get into this, and
I mean, the thing that freaks me out is to me it doesn't make sense anyway. There's so many facets of like the fundamentals of Christian belief just don't make sense to me. So it's just weird.
Me neither.
There we go.
Greg, neither.
You know me. I'm a very scientific minded guy, and I pick out plots in science fiction books and go, no. That's not real science.
Yeah, you're not a fan of time travel, are you?
Neil deGrasse, Greg.
You see, Gareth, I will accept time travel in a book as a fictional device.
To a point.
When you start trying to make it integral to the plot and say, well, time travel does this, and that's when you start breaking down.
So you don't like it when you start making it fun, right?
I don't like time cops and time bureaus, but if you just hop in a time machine and the time machine go to the future and see things, that's cool. Or you like I said, I read about Behold the Man by Michael Moorcock, where you go in a time machine, go back to the time of Christ and see what's going on.
Yeah, and he's
not the time machine that's part of the plot. That's just a device to get you there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. When I wrote my first novel, so the second book, but the first novel, I was going to be a time travel one. That was my original idea. And I didn't really, I kind of got sort of a bit mixed up with how I was going to get them back to the present day. And I just thought, nah, I can't, until I figure that out, I'm not going to write a time travel novel. So yeah, I went with distance rather than time in the end.
So Bad is going, great Catcher in the Rye, Alan. I guess he did a review. Oh, here's Fred. Hello, Fred.
Hey, Fred.
Hi, Fred.
15 minutes to say hi.
Yeah, Fred's got a new picture. He's got
is he?
Yeah, I think so.
No.
Well, I've got my phone. I can't
a
see.
picture of him peeking over the book.
Yeah.
Here's Bad Talk. I heard about this over Voxer. We had very bad Gulf-size hail hit here in Austin. So many vehicles damaged.
Yeah, she saw
all the car dealers look like a war zone.
Oh my god!
Yeah, she showed me a picture of
That's crazy.
That big, huge golf ball size,
ping pong ball.
You won't want to be outside when that's happening, because it'll clearly happen very suddenly, and you're like, Jesus, yeah.
Pain in my Gulliver.
It was very dry and sunny here, actually. It was like a summer's day in Portsmouth today.
Great. It's
Yeah, it was really nice.
We're Portland rain again. It's
I
raining
told
all
Dad
week.
on the Kindle she's going to buy one this month.
Oh, that is?
Yeah.
I'd like to get I've got a Kindle Fire, and I talk about it. It's really old, but it still works.
October 10th,
I want to
October
borrow
11th.
one because I want to try it. I want to because I haven't been converted yet, and I want to borrow a Kindle from someone because obviously they're quite expensive to buy if I'm not going to use it. But
Right.
I want to find a way of borrowing one from someone because I'd love to be converted. You know.
We'd love to hear your thoughts when you've read it, talking about Origin of the Species. Hello, Courtney.
Hi, Courtney.
Williams Library, read by. I don't review popular classics, but I might make some passing thoughts in a vlog. Okay. All right. We're currently at the end of comments. So, what have people been reading recently? Gareth, you're the guest.
So I've just started a Chester Himes book. I think it's his most famous book, Cotton Comes to Harlem.
I read that one. That's a good one.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've heard of him. Hey, Emily.
Hello, Emily.
I've got a few pages. I haven't read that much yet. I think I'm 17 pages in or something. And I think it's going to be really good. I'm enjoying it, and I like the way it's written. They've got an interesting character, stuff about Chester Himes himself in the back there.
Yeah.
And I found another one by him, which looks really good, secondhand, called If He Hollers, Let Him Go.
Right.
It's an old one, and that looks like a story of kind of racist violence, obviously about prejudice. But Chester Himes is someone I want to look into. So this is, it might be my last Shorty September one. I'm not sure. There's another one I might read, but yeah, that's what I'm reading at the moment. And that's the one that I said before we started that I accidentally bought it when I've already had it. So I've got 2 copies now. And this is like this is a new version from Penguin, and I've got a really cool kind of vintage version with a really awesome cover. It's like a woman with a cigarette in her mouth, and it just looks really cool. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Money, look at that roll of money.
Yeah, I there's an audio book of his first in this series. The name is escaping me, but it's narrated by Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, cool.
And he just does a really fantastic job narrating the book. I mean, it's just
I bet.
one of those star performances of an audiobook that's just absolutely amazing because he gets the cadence of Harlem down.
Yeah.
I'm a white man. I just could not get that.
Yeah. I think that's a brilliant point, isn't it? Because we would read it differently to how it would be read from someone like Sam Jackson, and he would give us much better insight into the rhythms of the language than we would as readers who don't live in Harlem or whatever.
Right. And then now it's set in the 50s, but still the cadence is right. And there's one character whose voice I think is perfect. He is a man who cross-dresses as a nun.
Right.
To scam people.
Oh, excellent.
And I just love the book because it starts off with a guy, it's the first chapter, it's not a spoiler, who says, the scammer says, if you give me a $10 bill, I can change it into a $100 bill in the oven. And the guy has this big stack of $10 bills that he stole from his job. Thinking, I'm just going to replace it when you give me, and he's getting scammed right from the beginning. And he's just such an idiot. You can just see him think, oh yeah, I'm making so much money.
I like cons. I've been conning people since I was a kid. Do you know the Paper Moon con? The movie Paper Moon?
Only vaguely.
Well, you take a $5 bill and you write "Happy Birthday, Alan" on it. And I was a little kid. I'm a little punk kid. You go into an ice cream parlor, pay for your ice cream with the 5, and then they put it away. Okay, thank you. Your friend comes in, pays for an ice cream with a 1, they give the change back and go, no, I gave you a 5. Yeah, it was my birthday. It was happy birthday. They give you the 5 back. We were riding around on our bicycles doing the paper moon scam to Baskin Robbins, all these ice cream. They finally got on the phone to each other saying, hey, there's 2 punk kids going around doing this little pit. Getting that ice cream money, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, so I highly recommend Chester Himes too. It's Courtney trying to finish up Shorty September.
Yeah, Courtney, what are you reading at the moment? Like for your last Shorty September, tell us on the comments. I think in the end, because I had a slow start with Shorty September, I started a book that was completely like doing my head in. I didn't finish it. So I'll end up with just either 5 or 6 books, which is not a lot, being they're quite short, but just one of those things.
Still more reading than I got.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've been in a slump.
So Emily's getting into Chandler Morrison books. Yeah, Chandler Morrison's a very strange author. I'm not going to talk about him real life because he's very graphic, extreme horror.
Oh.
Okay.
Very.
Oh, read and reread. Hello, MJ. Hello, MJ.
MJ's here.
Hello, all. I'm dropping in and dropping out. I'll watch some football game.
On now. The Eagles.
Hi, Gareth. I'll catch you on the replay if you're still on in an hour.
All right.
Here's William. My brother once bought something at a store with a torn bill that was rolled up.
Huh. I know all about rolled up bills. No.
All right. Medium John. Gareth. You are unhauling books, but I never do that. I still have my elementary differential equations and boundary value problems textbook from college.
God, what a hoarder. No, I'm kidding.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things I didn't like doing it at all. And I've done kind of little moments like where I've got rid of like 100 and then I got rid of like another 100 and that kind of thing. And it's just like, because I enjoy buying books. So I buy books and then I've got too many. I haven't got endless space. And also my wife hates the fact I've got loads of books. So it's that kind of compromise, if you like, which is not the best compromise in the sense that I could I try and get rid of more. But I counted how many I had before I did the big unhaul, and I had 1,800 books.
Wow.
And yeah, and there's most of them in the loft, and I just thought this is crazy. So I thought I'd try and be brutal, and also because I filmed it, I thought if I film it, it might encourage me to be more brutal as well, because I'm like on camera saying, "Do I need to keep this?" You know, and it ended up being 10 videos. So I've scheduled them all up, and hopefully they're interesting. And I think there's been like 7 so far, I think. And yeah, it's someone. I mean, there's been a couple of people saying, but you're keeping more than you're getting rid of, and that's true. But it's just hard, and I did end up getting rid of about 300. So yeah, and then, all of them were books I wanted to keep.
I don't unhaul until I like move. When I move, then I unhaul books.
Well, you see, I had that problem about 10 years ago. We were living in a house in Washington State, and we had bought a rental home, which was much smaller than our normal home. And my wife said, we should move into the rental home and sell our big home. Could be a lot cheaper. And I basically was under the assumption we were moving, and the room I was going to get was actually a converted one-car garage. It was turned into a bedroom. And so I was unhauling lots of books. And she pointed out like some old horror paperbacks. And I look at the cover. It was like Death Tour by David Mitchell. I bought it for $1.05. I said, well, if I want to read it, it's $1.05. No big deal, right?
Yeah.
So I sold it. And years later, people talk about it. It's on sale for thrift books for $50.
Yeah. It's really hard. That's the thing. You can't plan for that, can you?
No, you can't.
And you get yourself in the butt for doing it.
And the book that's
I have regretted getting rid of some things as well for that sort of reason. You can't get it again.
You can't. And the books that you keep, you look, this is on sale at thrift books for $1. and I kept it.
Well, I want to ask
You know, you can't know beforehand. That's the problem.
But I've got quite a big collection of cartoonist books. I've been collecting them since I was a kid, and it's like I'm kind of passionate about cartooning, and because we've talked about the Far Side before, haven't we? On another chat, I think. I've got all the Far Side books, but I've got tons of cartoon stuff. And I did say to my wife at one point, I'm going to even try and put a dent in the cartoonist stuff. And she said, no, don't do that. You'll regret it. Don't get rid of the cartoonist stuff. So I did refrain from doing that. But I tried to be brutal on other things, thinking, well, am I going to read that now? If I'm going to read it in a year's time, I can probably buy it in a year's time, that kind of thing. But yeah, I nearly got rid of some cartoonist books because I was trying to be as brutal as I could.
Yeah, you know, I learned my lesson is like, at least now where I live now is that I've got room. I can. Yeah.
Your collection there is amazing.
I did, and now when I'm running out of space, I got totes and I got storage rooms. I just put it in a tote, put it in the storage room.
Well, I want to ask Gareth about like your record albums. You don't unhaul those, or are you still buying albums like I am?
That's another thing that I don't do anymore because I've done it in the past and regretted it, and then had to buy the albums again. I'm not an LP man; I'm a CD man, actually.
Oh, you CD? I've got vinyl.
But I've got thousands of CDs. But I've got about, I don't know, probably less than 100 LPs. I do value my CDs a lot, and a lot of those CDs aren't on Spotify or whatever anyway. So if people would prefer to use those streaming services, and Spotify is evil, remember? I don't like using it.
I use Amazon Music Prime, but there's something about having like the album or the CD, like to have the order of the songs. You know, instead of just playing a song, pulling up a song at a time, the order of the songs. Put a lot of thought into that.
Sequencing is really important when someone's creating an album. The order that you're listening to it is really important, and that's lost now. But you know, it's like anything. Like the way I've explained this to someone recently with streaming services, if you're literally paying whatever it is, $5.99 or something for hundreds of thousands of songs, somebody's not getting paid. Do you know what I mean? Because that's a lot of music for nothing, and it has devalued music. Those streaming services, and it's screwed up the industry loads, and that's why concert ticket prices have gone up and merch prices have gone up because people are trying to earn a living and they can't earn a living from physical media anymore because not enough people buy it. So it has totally screwed up the industry. But not everyone's writing the songs. So publishing is great for the writers, and it's great for me because I'm a writer and I get money for my songs regularly as a writer. But as a performer, you've got to keep playing live, and the price is going up because you're not getting money for the physical. Although vinyl and CDs are coming back, which is great, but if they'd have stayed out in the wilderness, then it would have really, really screwed up the industry.
You know? Well, the whole industry got messed up. Now I'm old enough to remember Napster.
Yeah. I mean, it's the internet basically. The internet the internet screwed up life.
It changed life on how we view things. I mean, it's
created a massive mental health problem for the new generation as well. It's totally screwed us up. It's great that we can chat, but it's created so many problems.
It has. I mean, I remember when I was in high school and we finished the day and a friend and I wanted to go see a movie. All right?
Yeah.
What I did, I go to the payphone, drop a dime, tell my mother, I'll be home after dinner or something. I'm going to see a movie with a friend. That's it.
Yeah.
And now there's no texting, there's no following you where you are, and
because we're so attached to the idea of knowing exactly where everyone is all the time, it's like we've seemed to have forgotten that wasn't necessary before, and we didn't do that before, and you just knew come back by 11 or whatever, You know, if you're going out, you know, as long as I know where you are, that's great. You know, that's what I used to say to my kids. As long as I know where you are, that's great. And they didn't have phones until they were like 14 or something. And now, you know, you've got little like 6-year-olds with phones, and you know, it's crazy.
And I'm guilty of that too. I mean, like oversharing, like especially with my dad or with Greg. Like, look what I had for dinner today. You know, I'll send it to.
Well, no, everyone does it. I mean, that's the thing. It's you know, I'm sounding like you know, I'm out of date, but it's we all do it, but it has caused massive problems.
Yeah, you know? It's wild.
Yay!
So Gola Moadib, hello. You
hey, Gola.
Just about, you know, 10 minutes late saying hi, but Emily, I don't know how to rate that book. It was intense. He's talking about Chandler Morris, probably dead inside.
Yeah, I've heard about that book. I'm not going to read it.
You're not going to read it. We offered to give it to him for free.
Scary.
No. Christopher Evans
I like horror books.
That
Scary.
Boundary value this term.
Huh?
Yeah. To be honest, I'm no fan of unhaul videos. They make me sad. I get why people unhaul. Filming it, however, yeah. But, you know,
I've treated it as a bit of a library tour as well, because I was keeping so many books. I actually made that the start of me just going through my collection, and I've quite enjoyed watching other people do that. And I thought, well, I'll kind of use that as a springboard for that as well. So I've kind of just treated it as a way of chatting about books, like we do with any kind of excuse to talk about books. So yeah.
It is. And the thing is, I often, you know, said to people, why are you unhauling? And they go, because I don't have any more space in my home. And it's very true that you could become a hoarder very easily and just have it. That's not good. I mean, I like to keep my library pretty well organized and clean. I have a lot of space, but still, I don't want to be the point where there's stacks of books in front of my bookshelves.
No, and if I had your basement, then that would probably cover a lot of books. I mean, how many books have you got in that bit there?
Oh, I don't know. I got 13 full Billy bookcases with extender shelves.
Yeah, that's probably a good 1,500, wouldn't it?
More like 2,000 or something like that.
Yeah. So that covers my collection. So yeah, if I had your space, I'd be well happy. You know.
Yeah.
Well good.
And you know, if I got really desperate, which I'm not, because I mostly read on Kindle now.
Yeah.
I don't need to buy the physical books like I used to. Although.
But you love your collection, though, don't you?
I do. I still love it. You know, I was at like a thrift store yesterday where all their paperbacks are 50 cents.
Oh no, man.
And so I grabbed everything that I could possibly think I'd want. It's 50 cents. Even though reading it, who knows?
Yeah.
So Medium John, I have 322 carton collections, including
322.
322.
That's a lot.
That is. Read and reread. I have a big pile I'm unhauling, but I probably won't make a video. I've been stuffing them gradually into a little free library near me. I have also a downsized house. Now, the one thing I don't think I mentioned is after I sold my collection, my wife says, nah, I don't want to move anyway.
Right. I was waiting for you to get to the punchline of that story, Greg. But
that's amazing.
Read and reread. Her name is, she'll have to tell us how to pronounce it again. It's like Angelia, I think.
Angelia is going to be a guest.
Yeah, she's going to be on the show in November, I think. But we have little free libraries in Portland in my neighborhood too, and I've got like doubles of The Great Gatsby, a bunch of Faulkner doubles, and I got doubles of Pinch On too. I'm not going to leave in the free lending library, but I take my doubles to the free library.
I do sometimes. You know, when I had my we did the Hamlet last year of Faulkner, I had an extra, and I put it in a little free library.
Cool.
and I checked it 9 months later, and it was still there.
Still there. That's Faulkner for you.
I think it's still going to be there now if I go back to that little free library.
Yeah, nobody will take Sanctuary from me either. I can't give it to anybody.
But I'm still surprised that Faulkner in August does so well. That there's still
me and Brian too.
It's not a whole lot, but there is some.
Yeah, there's an interest, in anything on BookTube. You find a niche, your little niche, and somebody will find you. Mm-hmm. Look at Codex Cantina, all the Faulkner they do, and Joyce. But
so here's Badge. He's saying, what are the most popular videos to watch on BookTube? Hauls, unhaul, or library tour?
I think I've heard a lot of people say they like book haul videos. So I'm not sure, but I don't think library tour ones or unhaul ones come up that often, do they? But I don't know.
Well, the problem, the thing is, but a haul video is you don't have to discuss the book in detail.
No, because you've only just bought it.
You bought it, but on a library tour, you have to talk about: did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you not read it? Yeah. So I always avoid library tours because there's so many books that I haven't read. It's sort of embarrassing.
Well, you can admit it.
Yeah. Well, because I've been doing that, and I've got because my library tour stuff that goes up right through December as well. I've got all scheduled up. I've filmed them all, or at least I've filmed almost all of them, and it is like an enormous TBR because almost all of them in my main shelves that are in my bedroom I haven't read. So it's like there's hundreds that I'm like, I haven't read that yet. I haven't read that yet. I haven't read that yet. So yeah, okay. I'm doing that thing that you're saying you'd be too embarrassed to do, Greg.
Well, that begs the question about the 100 or the book challenge is starting in November,
right?
You're going to do it, Gareth? Yeah. I know Greg's doing the 100. I'm doing the 25.
I tried it last time, and I found it really depressing. So I really found it hard. So I did it before when like in between book challenges. I did my own 30 book challenge once, which I did get through. I did a 31, and that was in the spring a couple of years ago. But I still found it really hard. And I was like reading really short books just because I was in that challenge, which was ridiculous.
Oh,
so
yeah,
and I was like choosing.
Now you see, Gareth, I have to disagree. If I own short books and I bought short books, it's perfectly acceptable to read just the short ones because you bought them and you own them.
Oh yeah. No, absolutely. But I was choosing those over some others that I wanted to read that were bigger, just because I was doing the challenge. Do you know what I mean? So they were legitimately books I had, and it fitted the challenge. But I was just obsessed with the challenge. I was like, I've got to get rid of this challenge.
I see what you mean.
I know what you mean, but I still go for short books in mine because I want to see at least that I get more of the books that I own down. Because this year when I'm doing the challenge, I've already picked out 73 ebooks that I own that I want to read, and I've got like 52 physical books that I want to read. So I'm already overbooked.
Yeah. It makes perfect sense. But then every Saturday morning, I like going down the road where there's a charity shop that sells books for 50p, and I always find interesting things. So, it will stop me from getting one book from that place if I wasn't buying any books. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And, it's just, I don't know. Everyone would find it tough, but I just found it really like a negative thing rather than a positive thing for me. So.
I find it interesting because I want to read some books like The Satanic Verses has been on my shelf for like a year and a half. God, what else? Like Wolf Hall. I never read Wolf Hall. Been on my shelf for years. I'm just looking at. I have some James Baldwin I haven't read yet. So
you haven't read any James Baldwin?
Huh? Me?
Any James
Baldwin.
I've
read a lot. Yeah, I've got a buddy reading partner, Patrice Jones. We always read Baldwin in February for Black History Month in America, and but I still have. I haven't read Giovanni's Room, some others, but I have quite a few. Faulkner I haven't read. Soturus I haven't read. Brothers K. I haven't read.
Yeah. I mean, there's thousands of books out there, isn't it? So, well, more than that, billions of books out there. So, yeah, there's going to be stuff that we want to read, and it's a great challenge. It's a great challenge, and I do wish I could get through the books I own. But,
I know I never will. I mean, that's just, logically, I know I'm going to die before I read all my books. It's just.
I mean, I read every day, so as far as I'm concerned, if I read every day, then I'm doing my best to read what I want to read. Do you know what I mean? And even if I'm, like I was saying earlier, reading 2 pages and then falling asleep, I'm still reading every day.
Yeah. So here's Gola Moabdi. I've narrowed down my collecting to Conan, Lord of the Rings, Dune, and Lovecraft.
All right. Well, Gola, make sure you we'll have to get her on the Cthulhu Christmas in the Lovecraft. Yeah, we'll have to if she's
the Cthulhu Christmas.
Yeah, Lovecraft. Yeah, Greg's a Lovecraft scholar.
I am not a Lovecraft scholar.
You've been reading Lovecraft since you were a wee lad.
Since 6th grade, but that does not make me a scholar. I just
makes you well read.
There's still Lovecraft stories I haven't read. Now, Michael K. Vaughan's read everything by Lovecraft.
Oh,
not a number of times.
Vaughan's a scholar.
Yeah. So here's Emily. I love a good library tour.
Me too, sometimes.
Here is John saying his copy of whatever that was is 1976. Emily agrees with you, Gareth. I think we're a little bit out of date on what she agrees. I don't remember what she agrees with now.
Well, I'll take it anyway.
I'll make a library tour.
I agree as well.
Next year, it's William. I read the Thigh Gap.
What is that?
I'm not sure.
I'm glad I didn't say that.
In the 90s, I loved going out to the comic shop, people calling me when I'm out, leaving a message on their answering machine, and having to wait till they get back to talk on the. I remember answering machines.
Screen your phone calls. You can screen them.
No, I remember when we didn't have answering machines.
Yeah.
Me too.
And you never knew if you left if someone had called.
Yeah. I remember my grandmother had a party line. You'd pick up half the time, somebody be on.
I was never part of that. I visited places with party lines.
Yeah, you could listen in and go, okay, yeah.
And the problem is the party lines, you just pick up and you listen to what people are gossiping about.
Exactly.
Zach, have you seen John Keene's library? I don't think I have.
No, I haven't. He's a guy I don't subscribe to.
Yeah,
I know who he is.
I know who he is. I subscribe to him, but it's just like, do I have time to watch his video? And it's like,
what sort of stuff is it? What sort of content is it?
I don't know.
He had a lot of bad things to say about Portland one time a few years ago. So Johnny and I parted ways.
Here's like my cell phone. Like you're always got it by your side. You're addicted, and you check it and say, "Oh, who sent me a message?" You see, I have a message from Courtney that I have not read yet, but she made a comment on something, but that's after the live.
Get to that.
What,
Courtney? You got to reply to that.
I will after the show, but it's like
please wait till after the show. But
you're surgically attaching these to your hip now. It's like you can't go anywhere.
I know.
Well, most time I don't answer the phone. I have answering machine. They can use it. Courtney, I like short books, but not anthologies as much. But I'm actually thinking of selling all my Garbogist books. I have too many, and I don't need that much.
Yeah, I can relate to what Gareth is saying, because I ended up doing a video where I had 52 books to choose from for Garbogist, which is ridiculous. I can't read 52 books in a month, and I didn't need to buy that many, but I was just like, oh, that'll do. Oh, that'll be interesting. That'll be interesting. And I, like, you know, and I have got rid of some of those already. I wasn't massively impressed with the survivalist one I read, so I got rid of the other one I had, which was a survivalist one. I've kept the executioner ones because I haven't read them yet. Don't know what they're like. I was gonna get rid of my Sharon Osbourne one.
Which one?
I bought one. Just it was like a Jackie Collins kind of style book that Sharon Osbourne wrote, and I literally bought it. I bought it for I bought it for 50p or something for Garb August. But you know, it's still taking up space. You know, so do I need it? Do I want it? You like to read it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. One. I love Ozzy.
Oh, I'll send it to you then.
Okay.
Gareth, it costs you. Well, in the United States, it costs $25 to send a book to.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. That'd be well expensive then.
Don't send them Jackie Collins.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. I sent Nettie a box. It cost me $85.
Oh my God!
But I sent her a box. Nettie's been nice to me.
Mm-hmm.
She sent me books and all kinds of stuff. So
yeah,
I owed her. So it felt good to do that. Robert E. Howard.
Yep, Conan. I'm reading the Conan stories for Cimmerian September. I'm only going to read the first volume. I know everyone else is reading all 3 volumes. I'm going to just finish the first because that's too much Conan too quickly for me. I'm not a binge reader.
I've got it on my to-do list to read some Conan at some point, but probably next year.
You know, they're amusing stories, but I'm a little more than halfway through, and I'm just getting the pattern. You know, he has a pattern to the stories and a formula.
Do you feel like they're a bit samey?
They are, but you know, it's different monsters, different naked ladies that he rescues from monsters, and you know, and it's really kind of. I mean, they're really kind of amusing because you know, one of the stories is there's a princess, and she's of course buck naked in the story, quivering before this demon that said, "I'm going to make you my bride." You're not in those exact, but you get the idea. And then
there's a naked lady
who saves her.
I think it's very respectful that you think that all the naked women are different. You know, that they're not all the same. I think that's very respectful.
Very.
But the funny thing is, Michael K. Vaughan said it almost certainty Robert E. Howard died a virgin at 30.
Oh God! It's like Walt Whitman.
You see in the text that he was desperate.
He was. So, medium John Silver. In Read What You Own challenge, do you set a limit on the percentage that maybe rereads? No, I don't. But at least this year, picking out, I probably out of 100, maybe 10
rereads.
Yeah, I kind of just made an assumption when I did it that they were going to be things I hadn't read before. But I get the point that if there's still books you own, you are reading what you own. But
right.
I think the idea is though that you're supposed to be going like ticking off the ones you haven't read. Really, right. I think
you know it's some of them are just books I really want to read, and that's the reason they're on there. But for the most part,
I'm looking at it, Gareth. You know, I'm doing the 25 because it's doable. So you know, get rid of or you know, check them off my list.
Yeah. Well, the 20, I had to do the 25 when I tried to do it last time because I think the number you choose has to relate to how fast you read, right? And I get through around 7 or 8 books a month at the most, maybe 5 or 6 if it's a slow month.
Yeah, that's
so
good.
If I did the 100 towns, you'd say I wouldn't buy a book for a year. That's really depressing. You know?
Oh yeah, like Greg. Yeah.
So I think a 2-month gap is good because I think you're trying to kind of
the 3 months. I want to do 20 weeks. I want to get them all read in 20 weeks.
For 100?
For 100.
Yeah, I mean, Greg was thinking about doing 500.
I was trying
last year? I know. I tried to talk you out of it. No.
It didn't work. I bailed out about 130, but you know.
God, man, that's a great effort, though.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got this situation with Mark K. Vaughan where Mike's doing videos where he's just like verbally in public thinking about whether he should be doing the challenge or not.
He
But
wants to
mulling it
quit.
over.
He just can't say I quit. You know,
And
It's like
it
he
is because
doesn't-
it's a crazy challenge.
he doesn't DNF a book,
Hmm.
and it's just someone says it's okay to quit the challenge.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. But then he'll sort of talk about how he failed another challenge, and it's like it doesn't matter, does it? But there we
no.
go.
So here's bad. I'm comfortable now. That exciting feeling is gone on buying so many books.
That's
why I'm
good.
enjoying the read what you own. Go on, bad.
You gonna
Well,
do it,
yeah,
Bad?
What's
I
he
wonder how
thought?
many books she's going to do.
I don't know. You got to ask her.
Oh, cool.
She
Baldwin,
hears
yeah.
it. I have a Baldwin story coming up on my 30 stories project tomorrow. Is that
Yeah.
Sonny's Blues? I'm just thinking that's his most famous short story, Sonny's Blues. It's also a really good short story.
Yeah, she just did one on a Rose for Emily too by Faulkner.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've been following that.
yeah. As I said, I commented. I think that's my favorite Faulkner short story. Maybe Barn Burning.
I like that Evening Sun because it goes
Okay.
back to Compson's.
All right. Even though it doesn't really quite fit with
Boy, I like a. Oh, now you got me thinking.
Thank you. Christopher says I'm going to live forever. Chandler Morrison wrote a book.
You know what I
called
say?
Bottle Gap.
If I knew I would have lived this long, I would have taken better care of myself. I've got arthritis, man. I've been working all weekend, but okay, yeah. There's my friend Greg at Another Bibliophile Reads sent me this book last year. Really appreciate it. God, there's a. How about the story Death Drag by Faulkner? Have you read that?
Which one?
Death Drag. That's a crazy story. About
I read that whole collection. I don't remember that one.
It's like about a carnival. And I don't remember it as I haven't checked out here. I'll have to reread it. But yeah, we haven't done this for Faulkner in August yet. So, next season we're doing As I Lay Dying. And that's going to bring a lot of hopefully new people to Faulkner in August. It's a really good end to Faulkner, that novel.
It is. Now, the thing is, Alan, I would not recommend people reading the entire collected stories in one go. I did that, and it was an audiobook, and I eventually got really, really tired of Faulkner stories.
I can imagine.
So, Emily, I read Chandler Morrison's book, Thigh Gap. I don't think I can handle Dead Inside. We shall see.
Oh, I bet you
Dead
could.
Inside is explicit horror just to be explicit.
Right. Yeah.
I'm surprised Michael
it's a bit
Gavon knew about the Decamp controversy with Conan. That's a true Howard nerd there. That's a Greg hated. I didn't hate Dead Inside. I just didn't think it was well done. There's a different, Oh, I remember when answering machines were invented, and we would call businesses and fill up their tape machine with prank messages.
Now that's pure evil. Why would you want to do that?
Because we were kids back then. What else is a kid supposed to do?
Oh man, I did so many crank calls, and oh man,
I know. I did that as a kid, and what's so funny about a kid crank calling someone?
I don't know, but when I, my twin flame Molly, I've known her since third grade, and we've been getting back together like every 5-10 years. It's crazy. It's why. So we got back together like 5 years ago, and she still had her notebook. It says like, Alan and Peter crank called me. They said I had a sunken chest or a treasure chest. My chest was sunken, or this is from third grade. She had it in her like diary.
Yeah. So, William, I don't get why my cell phone still offers voicemail when nobody picks up. Nobody uses voicemail when you can make text messages.
Mm-hmm. My doctor voicemails.
I use voicemail. Because I've got a friend who's one of my drummers in the band. He's terrible at reading messages, and I often leave voicemail messages on his phone. I mean, he's just bad at communicating, but he's a drummer, so he's not quite there anyway, is he?
Right, no.
Yeah. So I do actually leave voicemails for him, and also, I just do it now and again. Actually, just in general, I think there's a point just in case they pick it up, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But
your band, you talked about your band, Bemis.
Bemis, yeah. We did 2 gigs this weekend. We did. I ran an all-day food bank gig yesterday.
Wow.
So I got there at 2 p.m. The whole event finished at 10 p.m. So it was a long day, and then we played at 7:30. But I was running the whole event, so in a really like the big venue in Portsmouth. So
wow.
It was quite. It was about 10 acts played.
Wow. And you got to pack your gear. You got to pack your gear in it all by yourself and all that. Your band packs it packs it out.
We didn't need to bring too much gear because the venue supplied the back line and the drums. But they were really good. I mean, because the whole point was to collect food for the food banks, and they kind of reserved the cloakroom area for anyone bringing in food, and that was like the entry fee. So there was no ticket fee. It was just bringing a bag of food. And we had so much food again. It was really good. And another successful. I've done it about 5 or 6 times now. And so every year I always send a message to the venue saying, can we do it again? What are the dates we can do? And then they send me some dates. So that was yesterday. Yeah. So it was good. It was a good set. I videoed it. I'm trying to get it up on the Bemis YouTube channel, but my iPad was playing up. But I want to put that set up. But yeah, it was good.
Great, man.
Yeah, and I had a 2-hour gig on Friday as well.
I'll look forward to that. I subscribe to Bemis.
Yeah, thanks, Al. I know. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Alan, check your Voxer. Show my vintage phone I purchased yesterday.
Okay.
My phone and I were
testing yesterday. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go.
I'll be trying to wean off my phone in October.
Yeah, I get it, Fred.
Ask Garrett why he doesn't get into Vonnegut.
Here's Bad texted me. Look at that vintage phone. She's got that on her bookshelf. That's like the party line. That's a party line.
That's a rotary, old rotary. Yeah.
I've read 3 Vonnegut books, and I'm still not been sold on him. The first one was autobiographical. I can't remember what it was called.
Breakfast of Champions? No.
It was a really weird title. Oh no, Timequake.
Timequake. That's really not a very good one.
That's one of his last ones.
I thought it was an absolute mess. So I thought I don't really get the thing about him on that one. And then I read Slapstick.
That's a bad one.
Yeah, I didn't really get that one either. And I can't remember what the third one was. But I'm not giving up on him because I'm going to read Slaughterhouse 5 and Piano Player. I'm going to read those 2 as well.
There's 3 you really need to read.
Player Piano, yeah. That's his first one.
Yeah,
Mother Night. You got to read Mother Night.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You got to read Slaughterhouse 5 and Cat's Cradle.
Yeah.
Right.
Those are the top 3.
Yeah, I agree.
And honestly, after that, if you like them, you can read more. But those are the 3 that you should read.
Sentimental favorite of mine is Breakfast of Champions.
It was okay. I know that, but Breakfast of Champions will never be a top favorite of mine.
No,
I think
like it.
I like the idea of what he does, and I like the sort of the way he thinks, but the actual writing, if it's a bit like wading through treacle sometimes, and like get to the point.
Wading through treacle.
Yeah.
That's an English saying right there. Oh, you're British.
Yeah, I am. It's true. It's 2 a.m. I'm definitely British.
Okay. So Gareth, we've been on for an hour. Do you need to go to bed?
I can go for a bit longer. It's all good. I've got some lemon squash here. I've run out of tea, but I've got lemon squash.
We'll try to keep it under half hour to finish up.
Yeah.
Get you to bed.
Yeah, you got
8 books a month. That's actually here's read by Fred. That's pretty good. I typically read 2 to 3 books a month.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I appreciate that, Fred.
It is.
Yeah, if I can read like 1 book a week, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm reading Sonny's Blues.
Sonny's Blues. Here we go.
Yes. Yeah, Greg called it. Like, do these count for like the challenge too?
Absolutely.
These count, right?
Absolutely. I read one last year. It's good because you can read it in a day.
Yeah, you read that in about half an hour.
It's a book.
I've got a box full of those books. That's another thing that will appear in this library tour I'm doing. I've got a box of mad books.
Oh, you do?
So, yeah. There's about I think there's about 40 in the book in the box.
Yeah. Send me those too, Gareth.
I want to show you the advertisement in one of these.
Damn, I've got like the big ones. I got the hardback big ones too. A few of them.
I think it was Mad Magazine that first got me really into cartoonists because I used to love the caricatures, like Mort Drucker's caricatures.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. And I love Sergio is one of my favorite cartoonists as well. I love Sergio Aragonés stuff.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
And Don Martin stuff's really good as well.
Yeah, I like El Jeffy.
Yeah.
He recently died.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's a bit of nostalgia. This was written in 1956.
Wow.
It's a parody of home buying. Live in the lap of luxury at Paynin Acres, and they're advertising houses for sale. Now, I think it's not a real house, but I think the price of the house is probably legitimate for the era. Look at that. Can you see it?
$1,499.
Yep, for a house.
Yeah, in the 50s. Damn.
Yeah. No, I love Mad Magazine.
Yeah.
Yep. Spy versus Spy, all that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Spy versus. I really love Spy versus Spy. And I tell you what, a really nice thing that happened to me randomly with connected to the band was I was just going into a venue. We were playing, and then there was like a crew, like a line of people waiting to go in, and there was a guy at the front, and I said, "I love your T-shirt, mate," and it was a Spy versus Spy T-shirt.
Wow.
And he said, next time I see you, I'll bring you one. And he came to see us again, and he gave me a Spy versus Spy T-shirt.
That's the shit.
That
was really cool.
I wonder how many young people would recognize Spy versus Spy.
Yeah, no one.
I'm gonna Google it to see how much it costs to get a T-shirt like that. But yeah,
I've got a really cool red one now.
I've even checked on eBay for like lots for Mad magazines, the actual magazines. Too expensive for me.
Yeah, I like finding them out in the wild randomly. Really, it's quite good to see that nowadays. I mean, it's not very often you see them, but it's quite nice when you do see them.
This is only $5. I mean, okay, $5. You know, they had more than one, but I figure I need one Mad book.
There's a few comic shops in Portland still. I haven't been in them yet. There was one downtown I used to go to, but years ago. But there's one around not too far from where I live. I should go in and see. But God, going into bookstores or record shops, I mean, you're going to buy something.
Yeah. There's a really cool place in Brighton, which is called Snooper's Paradise, and it's just random shit everywhere. And like you can go in there and just like find like a display case that's got like ornaments in it and Star Wars figures and Smurfs, and all sorts of random things in it. Then there'll be like a pile of magazines, and then there might be like a Mad magazine in the middle of it, and like sort of strange in vintage records. And it's a really interesting place. Snooper's Paradise is called. It's quite big as well. But yeah, you can often find random stuff there.
So here's a comment. Howard does reuse a lot of the same plot points: bar fights a giant ape, saves a hot chick, evil wizard, some prehistoric creature, ancient ruins, and race. Yeah, but they're fun.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying them. So here is it was the 80s. We had no smartphones. We were at loose ends. We had so much. I mean, I was a teenager in the 80s. I graduated in 83, but like you said, we did prank calls, and we were in what do you call it, middle school, between 6 and whatever. And my friend had a mic that you attach to the hearing part of your phone, so you record your phone conversation on a cassette tape.
I can see this going off the rails.
We just love to do prank calls and do the stupid kid stuff, like and then listen to them over and over again. And we found we could listen to these tapes 10 times.
Yeah,
and we were always busting a gut, thinking, "Oh, you are so clever."
I remember that I would have to call the librarian to get information. It wasn't no Google or anything. You had to call the Yeah, can you tell me what year Edgar Allan Poe was born? No, thank you.
You did that.
Alan again? Yes, Alan again.
They used to have research rooms in libraries. We had a research librarian.
Well, we used to buy encyclopedias. We had encyclopedias in the house, and nobody has them anymore because obviously you've got Google. But yeah, encyclopedias are cool.
Yeah, I was lucky. My parents had all that. And my first short story I ever read was The Five Chinese Brothers. It's a famous American short story. They all had different powers. Like one could hold his breath underwater. It's kind of like a racist story now. All these Chinese brothers.
That's no longer in print, I guarantee you.
It's a famous story. I have copies of it. I love that book. But my folks had encyclopedias, and then they had like this ABC book and short stories, and like Jungle Book. And
but when you talk about what you used to have, I mean, me and my sister. I think it was my sister more than me. She's 4 years older than me, and she definitely had some Enid Blyton books, and she definitely had a book called The Three Gollywogs.
Gollywogs?
Yeah.
What's
and then the Gollywogs were these sort of black dolls.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't think you can find that book anymore. I don't think that's in print.
I don't even know what that is.
Quite rightly.
I've never heard that specific term.
Yeah. It was the name of an old toy that used to be quite common back in the 70s and 80s. But yeah, I don't think that. I mean, that shouldn't be in print, and I don't think it is in print. But yeah, it's amazing how things change.
Yes. So Emily, Sweet Phone Bad brings back memories. That I remember rotary phones being common.
On the wall
I remember like the first push button phone that had the dials. I go, wow.
Yeah, the Princess, I think. Yeah.
Ooh.
With all the long cords, you could hang yourself with the cord. The phone cord would be so long. 20 feet long. You can go around the corner. Oh, be quiet, Mom. Be quiet, Mom. I'm trying to talk.
Do you remember the story about phones, about the babysitter alone?
And what? He's calling from the basement? What?
No, where there's too long. You get a call, babysitter, guy breathing.
Yeah.
On the children. You run, they're fine. And keeps doing that, and she calls the police. And they say, well, we'll keep him on the line.
Right. He's calling from upstairs.
And then she's talking, and then the police comes like, get out of the house now. It's the upstairs line. I don't know. I know. I remember using that phone. I didn't think Bad was that old.
Oh, she's 40.
No,
Oh,
she's
did I say that? Oh,
she's
I can't believe I said
she's
that.
29.
Yeah. No, she's pretty open about it. She's open about it. She doesn't look it.
Yeah, she looks really young.
I know, that's for damn sure.
Rotary phone. I remember Beavis and Butthead Do America, where Beavis and Butthead picked up the Oval Office phone.
Yeah, William, I hear you.
Oh,
Butthead, that's funny.
I have a 50s black rotary phone. It weighs about 10 pounds.
Wow.
What was that? Beavis and Butthead. Colio. Or Count Holio.
I loved used record stores. A couple
Me
of
too.
friends used to work at one. I'd go near closing. We'd blast the music, play CD baseball, and stage dive on the CD racks.
Jeez.
Yeah. Well, I worked in record shops for 15 years, so a big chunk of my life is connected to record shops. It was good times. I mean, there was no money in it, so I had to get a different job, but it was a good job in the sense of I loved being around the records.
Yeah, you know, when during I guess in the 90s, you know, I'd bought like a portable CD player. I'd buy the classical music section, and they had a record store. I forgot the name of the store now, but they had its own little department for classical music that had its own walled off, and you could listen to it. And they had just tons of CDs there. And then you had the register and the rock and jazz and other play, and it was just packed in that store. I mean, you'd have to wait in line at the cash register to check out.
When we went to LA, we really wanted to go to Amoeba Music because we'd heard about it. We'd heard it was this massive record shop, and I love record shops. So if I'm anywhere and there's a record shop, I'll go in it. And we spent hours and hours and hours in there, and I spent $500 in Amoeba Music. I've never spent $500 in one shop before in my life, and I miscalculated as well because I had these baskets full of CDs and a couple of T-shirts, and I was wandering around with them, and my son was going out to me going, "Are you buying all that?" I was going, "Yeah, it's fine. I've added it all up. It's all good. I know what I'm doing." And I said, "There's about £350 worth in there, or $350 worth in there." And he's like, "All right, fair enough." And I took him to the counter, and I was like, "Can I just put them here and I'll get some more?" And then the lady was like, "Yeah, no worries." So I carried on getting some more stuff. And then I was like adding him up in my head, and I thought, oh, yeah, it's about like 380 or something. It should be right. And then when it was and it kept getting bigger and bigger through the till, I was going, "Oh, what have I done?" But,
you have the CD?
Which one's that? Is that Yellow Submarine?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Yeah.
I
love the film. Do you like the film?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Film the other month, a few months ago.
It's a great film. It's completely mad. Is that John Lennon collection?
I watched Hard Day's Night again. I watched Help again.
Yeah,
I've got all those albums.
Have you seen the stuff that Les Claypool has done with Sean Lennon?
No.
Look up the Lennon Claypool Delirium, I think it's called. And it's really cool. They did an album together.
Claiborne and Sean Claiborne. Okay.
Claypool. It's Les Claypool from Primus.
Claypool?
Yeah, Claypool.
Okay.
He's a crazy bass man. Yeah.
Sean's solo stuff from like years ago.
Yeah. He looks like John Lennon now. He looks exactly like him.
Yeah, with the
glasses.
Long hair, yeah.
Yeah.
I like Sean. Sean and Julian, I just saw it like Julian Lennon was on Bill Maher has a podcast. Bill Maher from Politically Incorrect. He's got a podcast called Club Random. And he had Julian on the other day for 2 hours. So Julian said that him and Sean are trying to collaborate.
Yeah, they're friends now. It's nice to see it. Yeah, they've got a really positive relationship. I know it was difficult for Julian because he didn't really get to have John as a dad.
John kind of fucked him over. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it
John
wasn't
wasn't
it
a
was a
friend.
good time.
Yeah, he had his faults for sure. I mean, I love Lennon, but
Yeah. No, I'm a big fan of Lennon, but he definitely had his faults.
yeah, my favorite Lennon album is the second one, Plastic Ono Band.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, there's a question for you, Gareth, from Zap. So did you enjoy High Fidelity?
High End Fidelity.
If he means the film, I absolutely love the film, and I do like the book as well, actually. But I really love the film, and it's a bit controversial because obviously it's written by Nick Hornby and it's set in Britain. And when they did the film, they set it in America, and some people don't like that. Some fans of the book don't like the fact that it was transferred to America. But I love it. I think it's brilliant, and it's really funny because I didn't see it straight away, and I had loads of my friends saying you've got to see High Fidelity. I'll go, why? And they go, because it's about you.
Oh shoot!
And it's like this idea that the John Cusack character was like me, but no, I absolutely love that film. I think it's brilliant.
I'll have to watch it too.
Yeah, it's great.
Goodbye, Williams Library. Goodbye, read and reread.
Al, you said about Giovanni's Room. That's the book that I've read this month.
Oh wow! Maybe, yeah, I think you did a short on that.
I did a short and then I did a review of it as well. So there's a 13-minute review as well, and it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So it's my first James Baldwin proper book. So I've seen tons of video stuff on him, and I've seen so many videos, interviews with him and that. And I read the book called "I'm Not Your Negro," which is like little bits of writing that he's done.
Yeah, I read that.
This is his first proper book, and it's absolutely brilliant. Really, really good.
So Giovanni's Room takes place in Paris?
Yeah. And he wrote it when he was in Paris as well. So he went there to sort of get away from America for a bit and get away from his dad for a bit.
He had a wild life.
Really good. Really interesting guy, I think.
Yeah, I have his biography on my shelf. I buddy read that with Patrice Jones. But it's a powerful biography. Yeah,
but he was quite important in the civil rights movement, wasn't he?
Oh, big time, yeah.
You see, I've only read the story Sonny's Blues.
Okay.
The only, and still, really good short story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like If Beale Street Could Talk. Go Tell It on the Mountain.
Yeah.
He also wrote a powerful play called Amen Corner that I've read and saw on YouTube, the play.
Yeah.
Amen Corner. He was like a preacher when he was younger. He was going to be a preacher and all that. Yes.
I think that play's set in a gospel church, isn't it? Is that right? Is that the play that's set in a gospel church?
Play, yeah.
Yeah. Now I've got Go Tell It on the Mountain to read. I've got Another Country. Yeah. And there's another one, quite a thick book I bought recently, which was like a later book that he wrote about a gospel singer.
MJ.
MJ's back. Yeah, I've got the football game on MJ, but I've been so intrigued by Gareth and Greg. I haven't been watching. Oh man, the Eagles are killing. MJ's in a happy mood. Go Philly.
As MJ's appeared, we should say how cool it is that MJ's got an article in here.
And you have it, yeah. That's very impressive.
My copy is due in the mail this week.
Oh, cool, Greg.
So big up for MJ for putting an article in there. I know that it was really cool seeing MJ talk about it on their channel, talking about how it was like a really cool moment for her to have a written piece in there in the magazine. So I'm really looking forward to reading that. Yeah.
Now, see, my big question is that the book she's talking about in that article is one of the books I'm going to be reading for Cult Detective October.
Awesome.
Should I read that first or read her article first?
I imagine it'll be better to read it and then read the article, I think.
Maybe.
I haven't read the article, so that's not from that's out of ignorance, but maybe MJ can say in the comments whether it's better to do that.
I think she read the whole trilogy of Satan's Sleuth.
Yeah, Satan's Sleuth. Yeah.
And to answer MJ's question, I thought I had a copy of The Fire Next Time. I haven't read that. That's a collection of his essays. But
Right.
yeah, I've read. Oh man, now I'm gonna forget it. Nobody Knows My Name.
This is all I got.
Not Native Son, but
Native Son is Richard Wright.
Right. That's a great book.
Oh, Native Son is fabulous.
Well, when he famously, I say famously, but I read about the fact that he did a scathing review of Native Son. James Baldwin, he didn't like it.
Right. Baldwin has a book of essays called Notes of a Native Son.
Right.
Was that his scathing review of the book?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, but yeah, that's sort of something. One of the things I read that it was like it was a comment. The reason why it was mentioned was that it was a comment. He was making comments about the whole kind of black writers being defined as black writers, and the fact he didn't want to be defined as a black writer, which is why he didn't have.
Writer,
he had Giovanni's Room. All the characters are white, and he did that for that reason. He didn't want to just be seen as a black writer. I think it's really interesting. So yeah.
Okay, so MJ was talking about. I've only read The Fire Next Time. Yeah, she mentioned that's the essays.
Yeah, let's look that up.
Thanks, guys. Yes, read the book, then the article.
There you go.
All right, it's a powerful book. And MJ, if you don't know this, it's on the Voxer group. The Occult Detective Anthology Fear Something is $1.99 today on Kindle. You need to pick up your phone while you're talking, and if you haven't got it, go buy that for $1.99.
Before it goes up, it's going to go up to $2.99.
Well, it's these people who have Kindles who see these books and go, "Oh, I'll buy that for $1.99."
I need to get a Kindle. I need to get a Kindle for reading at night. Like I have my little lamp over here, and it's just not bright enough for reading a book at nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
So I need a Kindle too.
Yeah.
I have a Kindle Fire, but it's like as big as my hand. It's like this big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's quite small, isn't it?
Well, Alan, October 10th and 11th, Amazon's having a Prime Day sale. So you can probably get a Kindle cheap.
Yeah, for like what, under 100?
Under 100 probably.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, Black Friday's coming, isn't it? That's this time of year, isn't it? For November time.
That's coming up too in November.
Yeah, that'll
probably be a holiday. Black Friday's an American holiday. Well, I guess it's worldwide now.
Black Friday. This isn't really Black Friday, but it's kind of linked because the same words. I'm in the middle of reading Friday Black.
Oh wow! What a coincidence!
Yeah. It's a really brilliant set of short stories that are kind of like commentary on racism. It's by a British black writer, Nana Kwame Adjei-Branyer, and really interesting writing. And he's just had a lot of acclaim for the Chain Gang All Stars, I think it's called, which is a newer book he's done, which again has got a lot of political commentary in it. But this is really good. There's a few of the stories are a bit sort of Twilight Zone-y, but with that sort of anti-racist kind of message. So yeah, Friday Black.
Okay,
excellent.
Just reminded me because we said Black Friday.
Well, hello, Jules Scott. And I didn't wait 15 minutes to say hi to you. You're last.
Yeah, Jules is new to the show. I haven't heard. Do you have a channel, Jules?
I don't know. Does Jules Scott have a channel? She'll have to answer in the comments.
Yeah. We'll subscribe.
Mm-hmm. Greg is a Kindle crack dealer. I do my part.
I resemble that comment.
Well, she says, I saw that Zap is now. Yeah, he's talking about. Zap has been. They've marked down the Kindle Scribe again.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, and it may go down more in the 10th and the 11th. Jewel Scott, no channel, just a viewer. Well, welcome.
oh
Fair enough.
yeah. Good to see you, Joel.
So, yep, MJ. Yeah,
I don't know if we thank the commentators and that enough.
I love my Kindle Scribe. It's a bit big and a bit clunky, but I really like it.
This is my Kindle Fire. See how small it is?
Yeah, that's pretty small. Yeah, you want it at least as big as a book, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, this is the one, Alan. If Alan's going to buy it, I'm going to push this one. This is the Kindle Paperwhite. It's like that. It's good enough for reading, and you can definitely read that at night in your bed by just the light of the Kindle.
To be fair, this is like a really short book and a quite a nice size, but actually this isn't that big really. This is like the size of a hand.
Yeah.
It's one of the hard case ones.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ed McBain.
Ed McBain.
Yeah, Ed McBain. Yeah. So that's quite small, to be fair. So maybe it's not that much of an issue if it's that sort of size. Is that the same one? Have you got that one there, Greg?
Yeah.
Hey.
And Ollie's not here to talk about how much he likes Ed McBain.
Yeah. Well, I've got another. This one, because Ollie said this is a really good one. I might get to this as Shorty September if I finish the Chester Himes one, and I've still got a few days left. I might read that before I go into the occult detective stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I like a procedural. I like a procedural cop story.
Oh, it seems to be okay, but I was really gutted yesterday because I spilt half a cup of tea on about 12 books. I was just like, no!
Yeah, I know, God.
And this is like, I think the end is a bit funny now. But at least, like, when I found these, I couldn't believe how great the condition was. I actually found 4 of these books in Bedford when I went to see Sean. And I moved that stuff with him, and I had that break where I went down the road and that.
Sean D.
And I found,
Sean D.
Yeah, Sean D. Yeah, and we'd done loads. We got up early and we'd done loads and loads of moving. And I said, I'm gonna get some fresh air. And I said, I'll go find that bookshop you talked about. And I found 4 of these main books in really good condition. And now 2 of them have got tea all over them.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? I'm not gonna stop drinking tea for sure.
Yeah,
I got to tell the story about my tie-dyed Ulysses. I was over in Dublin on scholarship in the 90s, and we went to a big party and all this, and we closed it down, and the bar was there, and they had wine and all that. And my friend says, stick these wine bottles in your backpack, Alan. So I go, okay. I didn't know they were uncorked. So I'm putting them in. And I was so pissed. The next day, my Ulysses was all wet and everything. Anyway, I tried it out, and it was like a wine-stained Ulysses around the border. It looked really cool, but all my annotations were all like purple. They turned purple and tie-dyed Ulysses. But I lost that edition. I lost the edition.
You have to get another one. Yeah, I mean, I had a similar thing. This is we played at a festival recently, and there was like loads of beer and cider in cans by the stage, and we were quite late on. We had there was only like one act after us, and I said to the stage manager, "Can I have another cider?" And she said, "Take as many as you want, mate." So I put a bunch of them in our bag where we had our guitar leads.
Oh shit!
Right. Yeah. I thought that'd be fine. But one of them was sort of punctured, and there was like cider all over the bag.
Oh my
God!
God!
All over our leaves. It was like, oh, that was a stupid thing.
Sticky fingers. Talking about sticky fingers.
That bag stinks of cider.
Oh Lord, that's funny.
There's lemon cider as well, which is really weird. Why would you do that? What's that about? Lemon cider?
I like lemon flavor.
I like lemon. I'll tell you what, I like lemon flavor. Anything really, to be fair. Lemon cake, lemon chicken,
Oh,
lemon. I mean, drinking lemon squash now, but lemon cider. It should be apple cider, shouldn't it?
oh yeah, definitely. Lemon cider does sound a little odd.
Well, I didn't even know it was going to be lemon cider. I drank it, not really reading it properly, and I was like, "Whoa, what's this? This is weird."
Yeah.
And then obviously, because if you think it's going to be something else,
Yes. Yes.
but if you know what it is,
joke
it
on
doesn't
people.
taste weird.
I used to play a joke on people. You see this coffee? Well,
Yeah.
it's not coffee in here, okay, folks? But I would there's beer in here. So I'm drinking coffee, right? Can I hit that? Sure, man. Oh, there. Total spit take. Total spit take. Now we got Greg and his now that's Pip.
No, this is Teddy.
I always get him wrong. Always.
Yeah, well, he's the one that Teddy's the one that comes around to photobomb the live shows. Pip doesn't usually do that.
He's the black one.
No, he's a tabby. Pip is orange and has 3 legs.
Oh,
He's very short out. I've got Ralph behind me. I don't know if he's going to be happy if I move him. You come over here. Do you want to say hello? Say
Yeah, I heard him.
What?
I can hear him. I love animals. I wish I had one.
What? He doesn't want to say hello.
Bro,
You're a bit grumpy.
hey, buddy.
He was asleep for the whole show.
Yeah, I
Ralph.
live in the apartment complex that is animal friendly. Portland, Oregon. But we have dogs going all up and down the elevators, all around.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, Alan, I have to tell you,
You've already talked me out of it, Greg.
I don't want to talk. I just want to make sure that you're ready.
Right.
To take care of an animal.
I know. It's I'll tell you the
Let me put you down.
See, first I'm gonna get, I'm taking care of this plant. So first I'm keeping this plant alive, and then I'm gonna get an animal, and then I'll keep the animal alive for like a year, and then a girlfriend.
Well, you're going to keep your girlfriend alive for a year,
Yes.
and then you're going to kill her. What's going on?
Oh, no. Where's your mind at, Gareth? Gareth goes there. No, then I'll be ready for a girlfriend. I'll be ready.
Apartment management girlfriend.
Oh, God. Now you're getting personal.
No, let your girlfriend live for at least a few years.
Sure.
MJ has the book I mentioned. Ooh, I love that book cover. What's Skin About? MJ, go to Bad's channel. She has a full review of Skin. Or not a full, she does a review. And it's because of that review that I bought Skin. Because that's what I told you earlier. You probably missed it, is that I vowed that I would buy a book and then start reading it immediately based off another booktuber's review. And that's the one I picked. So I start. It's probably too late to start tonight. I'll start tomorrow morning because I got to take my car in to get an inspection. So I'm going to be sitting in a.
Oh, you got to get the exhaust.
In the waiting room for an hour and a half waiting for them to do my inspection. So
you have to get the exhaust and all that?
No, it's like tires and like lights and stuff like that. It's $20. It's not expensive, but not every state does inspections. It's a state by state. And I guess my sister-in-law's boyfriend, husband, has a buddy who lives down somewhere deep south where they don't have car inspections. And he comes up and buys the cars that aren't going to pass inspection and hauls them down south to sell them.
God damn. Yeah, only in America.
Only in America.
Yeah. What kind of car do you have, Greg?
I have a Toyota Prius.
Oh, man. Those are the most stolen cars in the nation.
Toyotas, yes.
Prius.
Zap saying you can buy a Kindle. If you don't like it, you can return it for a full refund.
Yeah, that's
In
true.
the United States. I don't know if it's the same in the UK.
I think you can over here. I think my issue would be that it might take me a while to decide if I did like it or not, and it would probably be beyond the refund policy.
Right. That's how they get you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
It
yeah.
is. But Amazon's pretty good about returns, at least in America.
Yeah.
Right.
Really good. Go Amazon. Yeah.
Gareth, the hub says it's past your bedtime.
Yeah, no kidding. We have to go.
Yeah.
It's totally dark to me. No, it's cool. I love it.
One
I'm
more
really enjoying
question,
it.
Gareth. One more question.
I'm not tired. I'm not tired. It's all good.
Okay,
Let's go to 3, and then we'll stop at 3.
All right. Stop at 3.
All right.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So his
It's all good. We go through the comments, and then I'm going to tell you about something else.
Yeah. So Bats, I haven't seen that cat again, Greg. She was so cute. Teddy shows up a lot on these live shows. He's always
her middle name is Lucky.
it's a he, Teddy.
Oh. No.
We have the girl cat named Bella. She occasionally comes by, but usually she stays upstairs.
So you have 3 cats.
I have 3 cats.
Okay. God, I can't. For those people keeping score at home. I mean, I'm a friend of yours, and it's hard for me to keep up. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, you don't normally talk about the cats just on the phone. They do show up in my videos occasionally.
Yeah. I don't actually see my cat very often. She's like hidden away a lot.
Watson says hello. Hello, Watson. Woof,
Hello,
woof.
Watson.
Oh, nice.
Watson's a coolio dog.
Yeah, beautiful dog.
He is a good. He's got this marvelous expression.
Yeah, he does.
Can I just say Ralph's chilled out now, so he didn't like the fact that I was like picking him up. He's like licking me and being all friendly now.
Oh, he's awake.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I was waking him up. But he's all right.
Hello.
Floss.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hey, everyone, look at the cutesy wootsy animals. All right, people just saying hi to each other, so I'm sort of going through those rather quickly.
Yeah.
Bad is asking what you're reading, Flo. Thinking of reading one of the books that you purchased me. Okay. Halloween party.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Floss did a short on that. She did a short on it. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Here's Zap saying, Gareth, he's a musician keeping musician hours.
Yeah, basically. I tell you what, I need to look into it, but I genuinely think I've got ADHD. So I did a test, and it came back that I'm like 90% possible of someone with ADHD. So that will explain lots of things, and the way I do my job and stuff. But yeah, I need to look into it properly. So it'll take a while. Apparently, it takes years for adults to be properly.
You think you're kind of manic, Gareth? You think?
Yeah, I am quite. I have to do stuff. Well, that's why I'm like, I've got full-time job. I've got the band. I write stuff, and I've got
family.
Got family. I'm always doing stuff. So yeah, I think that's part of it. But I've always got to do things with my hands. So I'm always flipping pens and all that, and my brain doesn't really. It's not very organized, and I'll forget stuff, and
tell me,
So I think that's a bit of an ADHD thing as well.
I think there was a ADHD was possible to diagnose when I was a kid.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That I think that's part of it. I think a lot of adults are looking into that now because it isn't something that was looked at back then, and it didn't have a name for it. I don't think then. So as far as I know,
get some of that Adderall. Get some of that Adderall.
Well, I was talking to my daughter about this because she's looking into it as well. I might have cursed her with it, but we were saying that I don't think I'd want to have medication if it did come out like that. Then it would explain stuff, but I kind of like the way my brain works anyway. I'll just know that that's why I hate spreadsheets.
Yeah.
and why I couldn't it's also why I couldn't do videos on certain days of the week. You know, I'm relatively random in when I put them up, but I'm putting videos up a lot, but they're not on certain days, and I just wouldn't be able to do that because I would miss the days. I tried to do a Tuesday Tunes thing on the community posts, and I kept forgetting, you know.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm
don't have a
just my
schedule.
brain
I
works.
don't keep a schedule.
It's
I
a
do
lovely idea, but
Day Tuesday, and Poetry Thursday, maybe.
Mhm.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you're much more scheduled, like not scheduled. I schedule like crazy, but you're much more
Yeah,
kind of like sticking to certain days than I am because you got those Tuesday and Thursday things.
but you're all booked up. You videotape in advance, which is
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I do that because I think I'm always worried that I'm going to run out of ideas or something. I don't know. But I've recorded a whole year's worth of poetry for packs as well. So I've done about 8 of them that kind of will appear every month or so on the channel next year.
So do you record on a GoPro or?
No, I use the iPad I get from work. And
it has all that memory, huh?
Yeah, and that works really well. Well, I upload them and then delete them, so you know that's all right. And I have got the book reviews and the stuff that's a bit more substance stored on Google Drive. If the YouTube thing fails, and then I want to start it up somewhere else or whatever, you know, we don't know what's happened to YouTube. If it disappeared and something else came up, and we wanted to reproduce those things again, I have got a Google Drive full of like videos of more substance. But
you know,
hey, you know what happened last time you were on the show when I had I had to do a 10-100 in CB Talk. I you could hear me. Remember that? Well, I'm going to let you guys chat while I mute myself. I'll be right back.
Well, we were wondering what you were doing because the noise was amazing.
I muted him, so
it's worth watching that just to hear those bits.
3 is the perfect number of felines.
Yeah. Is that one of the? Oh yeah.
He's talking that I have 3 cats, and it's like. Yeah. Then the thing is, people don't have cats. If you get a cat, get 2 cats because the cats need a friend.
Yeah.
And here, you know, I think I told the story. It's like when I had a cat, Teddy. We had a very old cat. She was about 18, 19. And she would just wanted to lay on bed all day, sleep all day. And Teddy wanted to play. He's a young cat. So we went out to the shelter to pick him up a friend. And I fell in love with this 3-legged cat, orange cat. I said, we're taking this one. My wife says, well, let's look at some others to see if we like the other ones more. And we liked another one. So we just took 2 home. And there's a 3rd cat who really wanted to go home with us. He was like, he was sitting on this ledge behind me. He's like batting me on my head with his paw. And we almost had 4.
Yeah. And then, but 3 is the perfect number, right?
It's a very good number.
We keep looking at Pekingese because my wife really loves Pekingese, and we might get one of those at some point. But because we got 2 dogs already, we might wait until we don't have 2 dogs anymore because they're getting old. But I don't know. We might get a Pekingese. She loves Pekingeses. So I think her first dog that she had for a long, long time was a Pekingese. I think that's why. But they're quite cute. They look like Muppets, so I'm quite happy.
True, it's that. We're just joking around. Bad. If I have a copy, I'll do a buddy read with you. Okay, people are chatting with each other.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I try to skip over chatty comments because don't make sense. Yes, I would love to, Flo. Yep. So thank you so much for the books. I hear great things. Boxer to Flo, sure. Again. Bad's telling about a cat she thought a stray cat is owned. Now she showed me a picture of a friendly cat that came to her door. She thought was a stray cat, but it's apparently owned by the neighbor. Yeah, busy. See, here's Flo saying, Gareth, you sound like me. Busy.
Yeah,
Flo. You've read Cat's Cradle, haven't you? Busy, busy, busy.
Oh right, yeah.
That's a quote from Cat's Cradle, Kurt Vonnegut.
Oh, it is?
Okay.
You remember that's the new religion. What are you doing? Busy, busy, busy.
Yeah.
Gareth, you're a trooper staying up all night with the community. Oh my, what goes on here? Beth, thank you guys for another fantastic live show. It was good to see you again, Gareth. Pat, Flo, at one time I had 5 cats and 3 dogs, and now she has 4 cats and a dog.
Wow. Excellent.
Yeah.
Wow.
I almost was given another cat.
That has 2 dogs, Chihuahua and Oreo.
I think she has 3 dogs.
I thought it was only 2. I'm always the last to know anything.
I thought she had a German Shepherd that doesn't make it into videos very often for some reason.
Oh, geez. I thought she only had Oreo and Chihuahua.
She'll have to correct us. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Here's Cat's Cradle.
Yeah, Cat's Cradle. I know it's one of the big ones, and I've nearly bought it a few times. If I like the next, which one I'll probably read Player Piano.
Now, Player Piano is his first book.
Yeah, I'll probably read that next.
It's not his best book.
Let's go.
Oh dear, I keep picking the wrong books.
You are. I mean, you are picking the. I mean, I liked it well enough, but I've already gotten into Kurt Vonnegut, and so I understand where he started off, and then where he goes. Like it's a Player Piano, Sirens of Titan, then Mother Night. Sirens of Titan is when he
totally different books, totally different.
They are, but Sirens of Titan when he really became Kurt Vonnegut at his second book, and then Mother Night
is a totally opposite or whatever.
Yeah, that's a story of an American who becomes a propagandist for the Nazis during World War II.
Really good movie too with Nick Nolte. It stayed kind of true to the book, I thought. But I like Nick Nolte too.
I like Nick Nolte. I think he's a good actor.
I haven't seen the movie. I've just read the book, and so Gareth, really, Mother Night, Slaughterhouse-Five, Cat's Cradle.
Okay,
just pick one of those.
I agree with that.
Well, Cat's Cradle, and Sirens of Titan, you can get for like a 2 for $7 thing in FOP. I know you can get them really cheap. So next time I'm in there, I'll get them.
Okay.
Bargains.
Yeah. Don't be reading Slapstick, and I mean those are Hocus Pocus. That's a bad one.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. I got the idea of Slapstick. I read it because I'll give this one a go, and I was like,
sounds good.
Oh.
Sure, Slapstick could be a hockey novel. Sure.
Yeah.
I haven't even read it, or if I did, I've forgotten it.
It's about the really tall guy who becomes president.
Yeah, I forgot it.
There's something about his brother and sister on different planets or something, isn't it?
They might be.
That's Sirens of Titan.
But Timequake, I really didn't like that. I thought it was awful.
Last one, yeah.
Now, well, see, Timequake was his last novel, and he had written a novel called Timequake, and he had delivered it to his publisher. And then, like a few weeks, a month later, he says, "No, I don't like it. Just pull it." And he wrote a second novel called Timequake, in which he wrote a novel called Timequake and asked the publisher.
Oh, yeah, it comes back on itself.
And it's really not a story. It's just his musings on
Have
life.
you seen interview footage of him?
What?
Have you seen him being interviewed?
Oh, yeah.
Is it because I imagine he's probably interesting to listen to? Is he?
Very.
Yeah. Always smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
Pall Mall, smoking a Pall Mall. Yeah.
Pall Mall.
Yeah.
I always find that fascinating. That kind of thing. Hearing authors just talk. They're like they seem to be the least famous celebrities. Authors. There's only a few authors that like the general public know.
Yeah, unless you're like
unless you're a bookworm
or Bret Easton Ellis or Who's
Oh
Mac?
no, I bet you a lot of people wouldn't know what Bret Easton Ellis looks like.
I'm sorry,
I
Gareth.
think, no, I was just saying. I think your average person probably doesn't know what Bret Easton Ellis looks like. You
Right.
know?
The average person may
He
have
looks like
seen the
you.
movie
He looks
American
like you,
Psycho,
Gareth.
but I never read the book.
You haven't read it?
I read it less this month.
Oh, Less Than Zero, or which one? Oh,
No, American
Psycho?
Psycho.
Psycho, yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
who's the guy? James McElherney, whatever, who wrote Bright Lights,
McElroy.
Big
Yeah.
City. That was a
Right.
good New York.
Red Lights,
book.
Big City. What do we
Not
got?
that I can't pronounce it, but he was like a famous writer. Hit it big. We're gonna buddy read Homeboy. I've been on.
Oh, yeah.
Jay McInerney.
There we go.
Yeah, I can't pronounce his name. He did a better job than me, but that was a good novel.
This is not bright. This is Brightless Fall. This is one of his lesser known novels.
So it's not Bright Lights, Big City.
No.
That was the first one.
This is an advanced reader's copy that I got when I was working at Borders Books and Music.
Cool. Now, here's another famous writer who made it big and then died. Greg and I are going to buddy read this. I've read this book about 5 times, called Homeboy. Seth Morgan. Yeah, he died in NOLA, talking about New Orleans. He made it big, rubbing elbows with like Norman Mailer and William Styron, and just made it big. And he died on a motorcycle in NOLA.
He was really young.
Yeah, first novel. It's a great book. I love it. It's the kind of book I would like to write.
I'll look into it.
Yeah.
So Bad wants to wish I had a farm.
Yeah, Bad likes animals.
When I was in Washington, my wife had an idea of buying a farm.
Wow.
She was really into this thing called peak oil.
Huh.
I don't know if you've heard of peak oil. Is the idea is like, and it's sort of true, is that there is a finite source of oil in the ground that you can pump out of the ground.
Yeah.
And peak oil is once you've used 50% of the oil. And now you're in the lower 50%. And it's going to be harder and harder and harder to pump oil. And eventually you're going to run out of oil. And you're going to be living in your cities and they're going to say, sorry, no oil to turn on.
I don't drive.
Well, no, this is like you don't get electricity.
Well, I tend to use electricity. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So the idea of peak oilers is that you buy a farm and live as subsistence farmers.
Wow. That's scary.
It is. And
this is why you didn't do it.
Well, the thing is, she went out to look at farms around Washington. We looked at one, and she was really interested in this farm because had a little house.
Nice.
It had a stable. It had what used to be like a meat locker or something that wasn't functional at that time. But really, you're walking the property, and they had these.
Going the meat locker. Go ahead.
But they had the fence. They had these fence posts in the ground. And I noticed the realtor that said, some of these fence posts look a little rotten. He says, yeah, just replace them. So, well, who do you hire to replace them? She goes, you don't hire anyone. You just replace them.
Yeah, with a post hole digger. Yeah.
And I'm going like, you just assume that I know how to replace fence posts.
Fence posts, yeah.
And that's why I told my wife, like, no, we're not buying
it. String it up.
We're not buying I don't know how to replace fence posts. We're not buying a farm.
Yeah, different way of life.
I bet you could drive a mean tractor, though. I could see you on a tractor.
I could see myself on a tractor going over a bump, falling off, and chopping off a foot.
Oh, okay. Well,
Greg, I can see you on an air balloon.
See me in an air balloon?
Yeah, you won't see me in one. In my cottage, in my old age, in my cottage, I don't do anything anymore that I risk death. Like I won't go water skiing. No water skiing for Alan anymore. I won't go on a balloon. I will go on an airplane. That's like
Yeah,
an expensive roller coaster ride. But,
Now you see, I would love to go on a balloon. They have a balloon festival in Taos, New Mexico every year,
Oh
I
wow.
would go on a balloon with a parachute.
and I would love to go down there and get on a balloon. My wife has told me we can go down there and you can go on a balloon. I'm staying on the ground.
Yeah, Hindenburg.
Yeah, that happened.
So Zap saying Vonnegut's essays are great, and there's a new documentary out about him now. I've heard about that documentary, and I want to watch it.
Me
one
too.
day.
I don't think if it's new. It's like a few years old.
It's a few years old.
Yeah, but I'd like to read his essays. I'm kind of ignorant about Vonnegut's essays.
Mm-hmm.
Very ignorant.
So Zap, the opening scene of Homeboy is horrific.
Hell yeah, Zap, with rings and things. Yeah, he knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't know yet.
Read that.
We'll do it next year
sometime.
Next year.
Yeah, it's on the back burner.
So Zap, Greg and Green Acres. No, just
Green Acres is a place for me.
farm living is not for me.
Me.
No, it's not for me. I love living in the city.
I love you, but give me Park Avenue. Darling, I love you, but give me Park Avenue. I hear you. Yeah.
I want to live like where there's loads of stuff around. I wouldn't want to live in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know, I literally, if I need a pint of milk, it would take me 2 minutes to go to the shop. Literally 2 minutes.
Right.
And I like that.
I wish I were in a more better area. Where I live, it's like just a bunch of suburban houses for 4 or 5 miles. About 3 miles.
Yeah, but Greg, if you want a pint of milk, all you have to do is knock on your neighbor's door. Can I borrow a pint of milk? Oh, sure, Greg. Here you go. Sugar? Do you want a cup of sugar too?
You should get your own cow, maybe.
No, we have HOA restrictions on cows.
Chickens? You get backyard chickens?
No.
I tell you what. Apparently there were some people. I worked in a school down the road for a bit. I did some supply teaching down there, and I was chatting to someone in the staff room, and they said that they lived in one of these terraces, which is like I'm on a main road, and they said they had a load of chickens, and I'm like, what? And they had like chickens in like the center of. This is like a big city. It's just weird.
Yeah, in Phoenix, Arizona, that's common. That's kind of Mexican thing.
The Mexican thing. Maybe she's Mexican.
In the city, in your backyard. They wake you up. The roosters.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
So Gareth, do you live in how big is your house?
It's 2 bedrooms. It's like the front room is actually 2 rooms that have been. 2 rooms that are made into 1 room. We've got quite a big garden which we never look after. So it's like
that's a shame.
15. Was it 15-foot garden or something? I don't know. We've got to be bigger than that.
Yeah.
15 meters. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's quite a big garden. But it's on the main road. So there are some places in Portsmouth where you can get bigger houses, but this was the best we could get at the time because I was working in retail when I had no money. So this was the best we could do. But we've been here. Yeah. I'm literally just down the road. So it's like a 5-minute walk to the beach.
Yeah.
Location.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice. It's a good location. It's just on the main road. So when the dogs were little, I had to make sure they didn't run out of the house. Kind of thing. Because there's always traffic. So this is the road that leads to the beach.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, I've always lived in Portsmouth, and we've lived in this house for 27 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, a long time. And we've paid off our mortgage now, so we don't have to pay the mortgage every month. So that's cool. That happened beginning of the year. That was really cool. So
Yeah, that's what happened to me. Is like when we had a house in Washington, we had a mortgage and we had bought some other houses successfully, but the houses in Washington State are a lot more expensive than in Virginia. So when
you made a killing.
And prices had increased quite a lot since we bought it. So when we bought it and then moved to Virginia, we just wrote a check for the house that we bought, and
Wow,
that's awesome. That must have felt
it's
good.
awesome. Some people said we should have invested it, but we're retiring. It's like you can't take your house away once you own it.
No, that's
yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, Gareth.
Yeah.
We're at 2 hours.
Okay.
And it's late. It's 3 a.m. for you, right?
I should probably be a sensible adult, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
We'll help you be a sensible adult. Because yeah. And here's MJ. Good night, all. It's getting late for me. Talk to you soon. Good night.
Well, Philly.
Say good night.
The score is 25-11. Philly kicked ass. So yeah, MJ. I'll talk to you about.
Say, go on. Finish what you're saying. Sorry.
Oh no, I'm done.
No, we're done. We're just.
I was going to say at the end. If there was time, I was going to say because I had a few things here that I was going to talk about, but just a quick mention of the fact that a friend of mine who I work with, she gave me a load of graphic novels.
Wow, good.
Yeah, she said, I don't want these anymore. Do you want them? I said, all right. And there's like Firefly. There's one called Something is Killing the Children, which I've heard about before. And there's a bunch of other things. So yeah, I'll be delving into that in the next little while as well. So that's quite cool. There's a version of there's like a sequel to War of the Worlds here, in the graphic novel form.
Cool.
And there's like random stuff that I've never heard of. So I mean, yeah. So it's just really nice of her. So I thought it'd be nice to kind of mention that as well. So
okay, well, Gareth, let me show you something that I purchased I got on my Kindle.
Okay.
You see that?
I can't see it.
Voices of the City, poems by Gareth.
Oh wow. It's my book.
That's your book. That's going to be
like
my 100-book challenge, one of the books I'm going to read.
Oh, awesome. That's really cool. Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's a bit different because it's like every poem is a different character in the city.
Right.
So I tried to kind of use poetry to have like a portrait of the city.
Well, as I said, after November 6th, I will pick it up as one of the books in my 100-book challenge.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
All right, everyone. We're going to call it a night. And please come back to our show. Alan, who do we have next month? We have Dane Cobain next.
Dane Cobain, my friend from London. Yeah, Dane and I, in my playlist, Dane and I do Dylan songs where Dane will do guitar and sing and I'll play harmonica. And he trusts me to edit that shite. And, so the editing is shoddy at best. But we do Dylan songs. Now I got this Chromebook. Anytime you want to jam, Gareth, if we can make it happen.
We'll have a chat. We'll try and figure something out.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like in your spare time, Gareth. Yeah, in your spare time. You have no spare time.
Yeah, in the middle of the night. But no, thanks guys for bringing me on. I really enjoyed it, and I love chatting to you guys.
Show. Everyone, have a good night, and hope to see some of you next week.
Thanks, guys.